Welcome to the Brac drinks. I don't know where I am. Right. Facebook, YouTube. Hello. Sorry, I am late. I did put 9 o'clock, but then I did notice that I was going to be late, so I put 10 o'clock. So here I am. So thanks for coming and watching, and thank you, Doctor Who, for coming early. And I'm really sorry. I hope you can make it back again. Oh my gosh, all these comments, and I'm just trying to read. Actually, when I logged in, I thought this was last week's comments coming through, and then I had to quickly look through and realize it wasn't. Oh, Doctor Who, thank you. You're saying the suspense is killing you, and happy Saturday from Kelly. Hi, Kelly. She Wolf, hello, person who is talking to himself. I'm not. I've got all these people watching me, and also maybe on replay. Prompt, precise, and punctual. I get there in the end. At least it's 10 o'clock. I did change it for 10 o'clock, and I'll tell you why in a minute. Cheers. Cheers. Thank you. I hope you've got a drink. You've had long enough to get a drink ready. I don't even know if this is going to be long or not. Cheers. No worries, Gov. She means me. Wow, my accent is hot. Thank you. I think I will say it's the best compliment I've had all day. Although I've had a reasonably good day. The week has been really stretched out. Really, what have you guys been up to? Coffee? No, it's wine. I need the wine. I can tell you. I was on the way back here. I'm thinking, oh, when I get back here in time, and I really need a drink. So, oh, you've got a coffee. Very sensible. My mind is really not here yet. Wait, my mind is to get back. Maybe we should have a Zoom. It should be better. So, hello everybody. The numbers of viewers watching go up and down, which really stresses me out. But that's my problem, not yours. If you're watching, thank you. And if you're watching this on replay, belated welcomes, and say hello down below. Do a hashtag replay and say hello. Hi, She-Wolf, and hi, Doctor Who, and anyone else that is watching. And Kelly, I remember you did comment, and anyone else who watches. Now that we are all up to date, I'm going to have a drink. Oh. What a day, what a day. It's been good, but it's been really all over the place. What have you guys been doing? It's Saturday, and I hope you've had a really restful time. I would think you're all from the UK, so we're all at 10 o'clock at night. Just getting my bearings right in case you're watching from the rest of the world, and you could be all over the place. Aren't you guys going out and partying? It is so busy in the West End. People everywhere. And some people really dressed up. And I don't know about, for a long time, I haven't seen, well, I've been locked down for 18 months, so it is a long time. I haven't seen so many girls dressed up really sexy, really scantily dressed and showing things. You're not from the UK, Doctor Who. I know you're from Gallifrey. But where's your abode on planet Earth? So breathless. No, sorry. Past? Post. Posty. Posh. Completely lost. This is Doctor Who. Posh. All right, you've lost me there. If you're not from the UK, yeah, let us know where you are. I can adjust the time differences then. So, you're wondering why is this 3 hours late? Actually, 4. Oh, just one moment. I've just got to turn sound off somewhere before we have a sermon come through. To be honest, I've got a live going from Lourdes in France, and I don't know. It must be some festive week because they've had very festive services going, and I do know in summertime they do have special 9 o'clock services, and they do have a complete procession around the Sanctuary of Lords. Um, and I think they were just going to do something. I think it was just the finishing of their 9 o'clock procession. But I've just muted them so we don't get distracted. The doctor is currently in Midwest USA. Welcome. I suppose that is Central Time, not Mountain Time. Why do they have Mountain Time? It's such a narrow bandwidth. And even some states have got Mountain Time. And I would think it would be really confusing. But welcome. It's really nice to have someone from the States. Welcome. Now, what was I saying? Oh, yes, I've muted Lords. That's in France. And they are late because they're 11 o'clock at night over there. The doctor says they're daft with time. Well, it's a big country. It's probably good that you have got time zones, unlike China, which is such a big country, and they've got one time zone. Just imagine if you're far west, like in Tibet, and you're on Hong Kong time. Oh, She-Wolf is from New England. Welcome. My goodness, I'm so privileged. I've got an international audience now. Because one day I was thinking, if I ever got the channel up and going and I can travel, which I actually used to do, and before I had this channel, I was traveling with a few other stuff. And that back then I was taking so many photographs and videos, and I can tell you what, my episodes were, I personally think my episodes were a lot more entertaining. But then again, it did take a lot more time for editing and stuff. So She-Wolf lives in New England. So welcome, East Coast, wonderful. And I hope you don't mind me just sharing that. Well, people are going to read the comments, so they're going to see it anyway. So, but thank you for the international audiences. I'm really privileged. At least it's not so late for you. It is, I'm just thinking, 5 o'clock. You can go off and have dinner afterwards. And Kelly, a message to She-Wolf from Kelly. Kelly lives in Rockport for many years. I don't miss that snow. Wow, an international traveler. I've never experienced that sort of snow. And She-Wolf is nice. I've never experienced that sort of snow because I from the south, Australia, let's say. I came over here really expected to see white Christmases, like Charles Dickens Christmases and all that. And it hardly snows at Christmas time in London. And now with global warming, it hardly snows at all. And I really miss the snow. I really love the snow. But I've never experienced the real heavy snow as I do know that North America gets, and probably Northern Europe gets as well. And I suppose you really, as with anywhere, you have to live somewhere to really know what the country's like, because delays and well, in the UK, I don't mean to slam the UK, but centimeter of snow and everything stops in this country, and then we just wonder how does the North America and Scandinavia get through with feet of snow. Oh, there was another message. I'm so lost. Charlie, he likes to be called Charlie. Who does? Oh, I can't catch up with the comments. Nice place. And She-Wolf's from Connecticut. Ah, wonderful. And Charlie, he likes to be called Charlie. Is that the doctor? I'm so confused. I just came racing back from work, in the door, have the setup, and now I'm here. Christmas in New England is awesome. I think Christmas is awesome regardless of where you are. Oh, Charlie Dickens. Yes. I'm totally confused, but yes, I do know Charlie Dickens. I did do, since we're all very chummy and if we do get anyone watching, that's fair enough. I did do trying to catch my mind up. I did do a Christmas Carol, the BBC Christmas Carol, a few years ago, end of 2019, and I don't have any of the pictures here. Sorry. But actually, if you go to my YouTube channel to the intro, and I talk about the bric-a-brac shop, that things have energy, you'll see my makeup isn't the right word because I had no makeup then. You'll see the sideburns and oh, I can't remember what else I had. I can't remember if I was clean shaven, if I had a little bit of a beard or a moustache, but I definitely had the sideburns, and that was for me just being in the background for the BBC's Christmas Carol. They did Tom Hardy. That was a bit. I don't know if it's. I don't know if I'm allowed to say actually, but Tom Hardy's father produced it, and there was a bit of a falling out because Tom Hardy was supposed to be in it, but he wasn't in it, and instead there was what's that actor's name? Guy Pearce. Guy Pearce? Maybe not. The guy from Christopher Nolan's film. I think it was Guy Pearce, wasn't it? He not intermission, when they go backwards in time, one of Christopher Nolan's first film. The Doctor has said the Ninth Doctor, me, Dickens, in the unique Unquiet Dead. Oh, the Ninth Doctor met Dickens in the Unquiet Dead. I wonder if I saw that one. I can't remember. It's been a while since I've watched the Doctor Who episodes, and I just don't bother to race home to watch it anymore because they've just lost me, unfortunately. But thank you for that. May look it up. I wish. Oh, you're a Doctor Who fan as well, She-Wolf. I wish the 10th Doctor met me, just saying. Which is the 10th Doctor? Is that Rhodey? Rhodey? Is that the girl? Jodie. I'm so all over the place. I really am. Really sorry. Is that Jodie? Is that the 10th Doctor? I've just lost count with everything. Come on, Doctor Who, fill us in. Here it is. Lots of love, She-Wolf. Oh, okay. I'm totally lost it. I can see the undercurrent conversation going on, and I think I've lost it, but that's all right. So I was in the background for the Christmas Carol for David Tennant is the 10th Doctor. Oh, I think we all wish we met David Tennant, and wish he stayed or made a comeback. It'd be nice. Yes, Christmas Carol. I was in the background. I had a top hat. I had a frock coat, and because I was filming that and just started my YouTube channel with my episodes, you got me playing that character almost on my YouTube intro, and I evolved, you could say, just like the Doctor evolves and regenerates. So that's me. I did a bit of Christmas caroling. So I don't know if you'll see me in it. I think I got cut out. And I wasn't going to manifest the next lot of things. How are you with your manifestations? Are you into that side, or are you into the paranormal side, or you're into the spiritual side of all this? Doctor Who says, brilliant. I love A Hat and Tails. I do too, actually. Oh, that was quick, yeah. If I can find the picture, I don't think I've got may have a full shot. If I can find it, I'll bring it for next week. If I have a next week, everything's up in the air. But so that was a different look, and that has now evolved. Just so exhausted, lost. So getting back onto script. Oh my god. Oh, here we go. Back onto script. So it must be really hot over in the States at the moment because you've got summer. London never really gets hot. We usually have 2 weeks of hotness and then it's overcast mildness. She-Wolf says, this is my first time here. Really? I thought you came by before, but welcome. Can you tell me, I'm sorry, I think I went to New Zealand then. Can you tell me briefly what your channel is about? It's evolved. It's the YouTube channel, and it's about paranormal, spiritual, and the unexplained. Basically, I think esoteric. I think roughs encompass it all because esoteric is probably the best word because it. I do cover horror stuff like ghost stories and apparitions and things like that because I believe there's nothing really scary about them. It's just that we just don't. The spooky thrift shop. I like that. People don't like the bric-a-brac shop. Oh, if I do, I don't know. Spooky thrift shop. People might think it's a shop. This is what I have a problem with the bric-a-brac shop. People thinking it's a real shop, and I have to explain it's a platform. But then I do sell a few things there as well. So I can't really say it's not a shop really, because in a way it is a shop. If you go to the website, thebricabracshop.com, you'll have the directory everywhere for it, and it'll take you to the shop and also the YouTube channel. Welcome, Shevov. It's a fantastic channel as it's so broad. Oh, Kelly, you're wonderful. I'm thinking it's too broad and I have to niche down. It's helped to bring me back on track with my spirituality. Oh, thank you. I might use that as a testimonial and quote. Thank you very much, Kelly, for saying that. That makes me feel so. It hasn't been all for nothing. Thank you, Kelly. Yeah, so have a look at the YouTube channel. I hope you pop in at the right episodes because, as Kelly said, it is quite broad. And oh, thank you, thank you. It is quite broad, and because I do talk about the paranormal, I do talk about spiritual stuff, even yoga and meditation. And I did have a quick interview with Byrne, who does yoga, and his yoga is a bit different from the usual yoga because he does get into the deeper mystical side of it. And I've never done one of his classes, unfortunately, but I'm thinking of incorporating it because I'm intending to open a proper platform for the membership site, and I intend to, in fact, maybe incorporate some yoga and meditation and exercise as well for the spiritual side. I'm still thinking what I'm going to do for the paranormal side. I'm thinking of maybe I was thinking of actually organizing the Jack the Ripper walk tour and do it virtually. And if you're in London, come along. Yeah, and so that's what I was thinking for the paranormal side. She Wolf has thanked Kelly. Oh, thank you, Kelly. That's good of you. Kelly says most viewers are on the paranormal videos. Are they? I thought I ended up going to the spiritual side. They are quite good. We need to have ghost meetups in London. At this stage, it's just going to be you and me, Kelly, because the others are in the States. Oh, that's right. I was saying when I had money, I was going to. Maybe I was thinking I could pop over to the States and maybe call in on you guys and do a paranormal tour and visit a few different houses, ghost houses and things like that. Because there are so many, because there are different channels that actually look at haunted houses in America, and there are so many in America. On Facebook, hello Facebook, we've got Timia, who's late. You're not as late as me, I can tell you. I was supposed to be here at 6 and then 9 and 10. And I'm so all over the place. Oh, Timmy, you should pop over to the YouTube channel. And everyone's on the YouTube channel. But that's fine. If you're set up on Facebook, please stay on Facebook. I hope you've got a drink. Doctor Who has got a coffee. I've got a wine, and I hope you've got a drink. Oh, let me have a drink. There. Oh, that's good. Oh, sorry, I just knocked the Facebook channel. Timmy says I've seemed to watch the replay as it keeps freezing for me. I'm sorry. Come over. Is that YouTube or Facebook? If it's Facebook, come over to YouTube. If not, I hope it catches up because I know sometimes you start again and it starts right from the beginning. Kelly had Doctor. I've been on the Ripper tour twice. You're a Doctor. You're a Jack the Ripper fan. Uh, Doctor Who's been on the Jack the Ripper tour twice. The last one had Donald Rumsfeld as host. I'm not familiar with Donald Rumsfeld, but he sounds like he probably would do a good Ripper tour. And Kelly says, "My mum can put you up, Tom. She's good and lives over there. She lives down in Sydney for years. So your mum's in Sydney. Wonderful. Whereabouts?" I used to live around Sydney as well. I don't know if I should say. Oh, whereabouts? Good fun. It was supposed to say. Oh, let me go back to read that. Oh, um, um, I've lost it. But at least it was. At least it's all positive. And the Doctor Who says it was a correction. It was Rumble low. So it was. Oh, I've got such a bad memory. I'm all over the place. I need an assistant. uh, um, oh my God, you're just commenting away. I can't keep up. Um, oh, oh, um, I've just lost my train in the comments. Okay, so I've told you what the channel's about: paranormal, spiritual, unexplained, all the spooky stuff. I won't have any cooking on it, unless it's maybe for Halloween. We could do some spooky cooking stuff, but I need a kitchen. I have not got the proper kitchen. I can tell you for that. Oh, Kelly's mum is in the States. Your mum gets around. That's good. I wish I could get around as well. Doctor Who says, no worries. That's what I need. No worries at the moment. How are you doing over in Facebook land, Timia? I feel like I've neglected you there. Oh, I think she's neglected me. Timia is in Facebook and she's having problems with Facebook. It seems to keep starting the video again. So I've been, which I think it's going to really stuff up my showtime of 6 o'clock. Doctor's not afraid of no ghosts. Well, you wouldn't be. You're a Time Lord. Uh, Zuckerberg. Um, what is the craziest thing I've witnessed in the paranormal? Craziest. It's a wide term. I'm thinking of other things. Kelly says, drink up. Don't read our comments, Tom. Timia, come over from YouTube. Um, Timia, if you're on Facebook, come over to YouTube. That's a message from Kelly. Although I don't know if Timia's there. I think she got kicked off. Um, don't read our comments. All right, I won't. Should I put them up? Oh, that's all right. People reading that will notice it. Although I'm reading it mainly for the YouTube, for the Facebook fans. That's the thing, because I haven't paid for StreamYard, as you can see in the top corner there. So to multicam, I've got to have different cameras. So I can't do it one to everything. So that's why I'm reading the comments. So people on the other side can read it as well. Facebook is rubbish. That's from the doctor. And mind you, Facebook has changed so much. It's really confused me. And I must say, I'm pretty over Facebook as well. If Timia is back, welcome. If you're somebody else, welcome. If you're having problems with Facebook, come over to the YouTube channel room, because everyone's here. um, um, I'm sort of relaxed. I've got the wine, but it's really good to actually interact with people, because you do feel you're with friends, hopefully. Well, not you, but sometimes when you do a live and you have people that you don't know, and you're communicating and you really don't know how much of a friend they are. Um, yeah, I don't know if I made myself clear on that. Whoop, whoop. Party room over here. That's the doctor. He says the party rooms aren't in YouTube. I'm just thinking of strategy and strategics with Facebook. It's a not Facebook, YouTube, because I've got three of you watching at the moment, which is really good. And Facebook is being sued. Please tell me more. If you can type it all in, it sounds pretty big. Is what why is Facebook being sued for? Mind you, YouTube got into a few complications with their children stuff, which is why they have all these things for children. Well, like, is this video for children? Is it not for children? And you've got to click all these things before you can post it, because they got into a lot of trouble apparently with some of their children content. Well, um, well, the Dr. Kelly says Facebook is rubbish too. She's not a great big fan of Facebook. Well, getting back to topic, well, yeah, neither am I. It's too complicated. And Zuckerberg just wants to get in on everything. She-Wolf says Facebook, Twitter are being right, Facebook, Twitter, and Google are being sued for shadow banning and canceling for no reason. What do you mean by shadow banning and canceling? Because, excuse me, I think the wine went down the wrong way. Because I think my YouTube channel is shadow banned because no one watches it anymore. Because I from last year, December, right up to March, there was a steady incline in the graph of analytics. And I was so pleased and so proud and so happy. And then March came, and then it went up. Actually, I started my lives as well. So I don't know if my lives did it. It fell down. So you've got this graph going up and then just falling down. And for the life of me, I don't know what happened. And I think I was shadow banned, so people don't see my videos. And it is really disheartening because you try your best to put out a video. Sometimes you try to make it on time. That's why I've been a bit slack. I'm a bit disillusioned. And nothing happened. And so I think I've been shadow banned, and I don't know what I've done wrong, I used to leave all my lives up, but because I wasn't focusing on the lives, I think maybe YouTube looked at it as a whole and think, oh, only half your people are watching because no one was watching the live so much. And so my think no one's watching, we won't push my videos. And so I think that's why my ratings drop. And so now I take my lives off after the week for when I do a new live. Oh, I've got comments here, lengthy comments. So I will put them up in case people in Facebook land wants to hear. She-Wolf has said, they keep people's posts from being shown to people on purpose so their message doesn't get out because it conflicts with the political ideas of the social media giants. Well, there's a bit more. Let me watch this other bit. Kelly says, I was banned on Tinder for no reason. I'm 55 and hadn't even been logged on. Went back on after lockdown, hot into a chat, and then proof received a message that I was banned. I was horrified. God. And Kelly also said, correction, got not hot or dear. Don't know if I understand that. Yeah. Kelly, can you find out why you were banned from Tinder? I believe it's a dating app. Were you putting some sexy clothing? Were you wearing some sexy clothing or something too sexy for Tinder? I don't know what was. Kelly says they wouldn't tell me, which is the normal response, which is so frustrating. I hate that. I had that with Facebook. I lost my accounts to log into my Facebook group and my no, I had two Facebook pages back then, and I couldn't log in. It was frustrating, and I kept replying to them, replying to them, replying to them, telling them the situation that I now no longer have access because you stopped my other account. And yeah, fair enough, I opened another account which they shut down, and I had everything linked to that account. But they secretly managed ended up doing a business management account for me, but not tell me. And I was starting a new venture, and just by accident, I found this account where I could then get access to my Facebook pages, and it was so frustrating. Doctor Who says, "Oh, Kelly, you rebel, you." Um, Probably about your Tinder account. Oh, and She Wolf did say, "Why do they keep people's posts from being shown?" I think it is the algorithms, and I think that your posts aren't that interesting. They stop showing it, and they only go on the gauging of the figures that come through because it's all automated, really. And it's a bit like manifesting. If I got that one. Here we go. Yeah, and Kelly's still mortified about it, Doctor. Uh, but Kelly, can't you open up a new Tinder account? Because it's not like Facebook where they ban you and not let you have another one. Doctor Who says, "I was kicked off MySpace because I was a fictional character." I suppose in that sense, but aren't you allowed to have nom de plume, if that makes any sense, with MySpace? I think there's too much. What's the word? Um, Being upfront and open these days, and you can't have a pen name anymore. Or what about if they did this 200 years ago with Emily Bronte and Charlotte Bronte and George Sands, these women writers that had men's names? They would never get off the ground. Maybe that's why they're doing it. No, I tried. Oh, I don't understand. What about? Oh, I suppose you got to with Tinder. I suppose you have to put a real name. Can't you change your name to um, something else and do a different email account, email address, and things like that, and so it looks like you're different to fool the algorithms. Doctor Who says the cancel culture is out of control. Well, it might backfire on them, and it might turn itself around, and they'll end up canceling themselves, like the French Revolution, where um, hint, hint. I'm going to do an episode on that. Where excuse me, where they had the reign of terror, where they were cutting the heads off everybody, so to speak, and it was called the reign of terror. And then things switched around, and they realized what was really going on with the revolution, and it was all a setup. And so it became the reign of the white terror because they were going after all the other people that instigated the revolution. And that's a period in history that was very interesting to look back on. Not so much to live through. So it can reverse itself. Um, Kelly says it's tied into mobile and email. I'm not going to get a burner phone. Not that much of a rebel. But I thought if you had a different email account, email address, they wouldn't be able to trace it. Um, and maybe change your name. Oh, well, not change your name, but excuse me, that frog in there is moving around. um, Modify your name, like maybe call yourself Kel for Tinder or something. Um, Oh, it's tight. Yeah, I read that one. And 1789. Very good, Doctor. I believe you were there at one stage, weren't you? If I remember correctly, in one of your incarnations. Long live the Republic. Okay. There's good points for the Republic and bad points for the Republic. And there's good points for monarchy and bad points for monarchy as well. If you have a fantastic king or queen, it's fantastic. If you've got a bad one, forget it, because they're in for a long time. Kelly says, I'm staying single. Everyone gets home deliveries, can't even meet in a Tesco or pub anymore. If you're in London, it all finishes on Monday. Life is back to normal. And I was having this conversation today, and they were saying how COVID figures are going to go through the roof. They were saying because you won't need to do anything because you don't have to wear masks in London. For those of you international, from Monday, apparently we won't have to wear masks anymore. We, as far as I know, everything is same. In fact, I was in London in the West. Well, actually, I was all through London actually today, and some people were wearing masks, some people were not wearing masks, and it's just like business as usual. And I tell you, the West End was busy. The West End, for those of you who haven't been to London, is a part of London, which is the entertainment district. And there was people everywhere walking around, and it was crowded. And also, you've got the football tomorrow, the Euros, or the football, the soccer. I don't follow it, but some of you might. And Trafalgar Square, which is a big event area. What is like maybe I think in Central Park, New York, where they have events. This is not really the same, actually. I'm trying to think of an equivalent for New York, but I can't. It's a square, and it's where they host big live events, and they have a great big video screen, and they televise things. And and it was all set up, and I think they were set up for the football tomorrow. In fact, someone was saying Wembley Stadium. That's a great big sports arena, you could say, for those of you who don't know London. It's usually noted for the tennis matches they have there, but some events do happen there. And Trafalgar Square was all set up. Oh, sorry, I lost my train of thought. I'm talking about Wembley. And Wembley was all set. It's supposed to have tennis tomorrow or something. I can't remember. I'm really going off. I'm not a sports fan. Let's face it. I'm not a sports fan. So things are happening in Wembley tomorrow. Trafalgar Square is going to be packed tomorrow. Everyone is mingling. It's outside, so I don't think anyone's going to be bothered about masks. And let's see how the figures for COVID are next week. And also, we have Open Up next week, my version of the lockdown finishing. I hope if you're on YouTube, I hope you're reading the comments because I haven't had a chance to read it. On Facebook, I'm sorry, all the comments are on YouTube. So pop over to the YouTube channel. It'll be up for about a week. Yeah, pop over to the YouTube channel and look for the live. Cheers. Hope you've all got a drink. Kelly says to the doctor, yes to the Delta. What's going on with the Delta? As if some of you have read, well, Facebook and won't have read, but Kelly says there's going to be about 70,000 people in Wembley Stadium tomorrow. Let's spread the love. Kelly says her flag changed from an England flag to a black one. Is that for Black Lives Matter? I'm not quite sure. Just reading down the comments here. Oh, of course we have the Delta strain. Has the US got the Delta strain? We definitely have. Melbourne in Australia has the Delta strain. That's where they've gone into. I can't remember how many lockdowns they've gone into. I think they've gone into lockdown 4 because my friends on Facebook are really over it. I have one that really goes on about it, just like the Americans who want no lockdown, no masks. He's a bit like that. He's really over it because businesses can't function. Um, so Melbourne apparently has the Delta virus because I don't know if you realize, but Australia is quite cut off from the rest of the world. There is no international travel. Qantas does not fly overseas anymore. There's special airlines that do fly in. And also the mail has to, actually, I must say, the mail has so improved. I got a letter from Australia that took just over a week compared to 6 weeks. Compared all day, I've been hearing ambulance sirens going on. Compared to 6 weeks that the mail was coming from Australia to the UK. A bit like the olden days when it went by ship. They probably did go by ship. Apparently they brought Indian people into Australia, which is fine, and they've been quarantined in the hotels, but apparently the Delta virus has leaked out of the hotels, which has closed down Melbourne again. And Sydney has closed down as well now. She-Wolf, actually, I'm not quite sure if I understand this. Trying to do everything at once, operate all this and read and trying to make sense of it all. Doctor Who, it's time to get the TARDIS ready if London is open. Doctor, pop by, pick us all up and take us away, please. Absolutely. The doctor says, thank you. I'll give you my address later. Actually, you can find my address on the website. No YouTube. No, YouTube changed it. I'm confused. What did YouTube change? Mail in the States is rubbish. Oh, really? So the mail's not getting through. I was going to make a comment, but I think that was the Canadian motto, actually. But and I think it was the mounted police in Canada more than for the mail that they always get through. And I think they always get their man or something. Kelly says YouTube changed my flag to a black one. That's a bit strange. What's wrong with the British flag? Doctor says package delivery takes twice as long as it used to. That's interesting. I wonder what is that within the United States? I would thought within the countries usually the mail's all right. It's just out international because there are less flights. Back in the day there was less flights going, and so they had to wait to get them on the next flight. In fact, all this drop shipping business was really affected because drop shipping, it used to go by, there was a special mail that went with drop shipping, and it used to go with passenger flights, not special courier or cargo flights. And because there was no passenger flights, the mail didn't go at all, which is why they took something like 3 months to get to you. Kelly's going to try another one. Is that another flag? Oh, don't know about that one. Or was that all for Australia? Australian flag. Whatever. People might think you're Australian. Maybe people might look you up more. Doctor Who. Oh, the mail. Oh, within the States. That's a bit strange. Yeah, but I'm sure your normal air flights are still traveling around because if there was less flights, maybe they're going by road, which is slowing things up. But I thought you still had flights still going within the country. Bloody hell, that one showed. I'm completely lost. I don't know what showed. And my mailman is retarded. Is it just your mailman or the whole postal service? I'm sorry to hear that, Doctor. Oh, oh, and Doctor Who is very angry. Do you do a lot by mail? I don't. I do everything by internet now. Needless to say, I do very little ordering by mail. And I must say, the mail, when I've ordered something like on Amazon, eBay, from somewhere, when I have, they've actually come very, very quickly and they've been quite good. Doctor Who says both. So the postal service. So that's not very good news, but I don't know what the situation is in the States. In fact, I just don't watch the news about this whole COVID thing because it's too depressing. And as Tony Robbins actually said this, um, energy goes. I think I've got it wrong again. Energy goes where energy flows where attention goes. Someone help me. Basically, if you focus your attention on something, your energy goes to it and manifests it. So be positive. And that's why I don't bother watching the news, because they always bring up negative things. The world is falling apart. COVID is spreading everywhere. And so I don't usually follow the news. All my news I get is from friends on Facebook and the media, and probably through things like this. So I don't know how America is at the moment. I don't know what stage of COVID lockdown you're all in either. So, how did I get? Oh, She-Wolf. Oh, we really went on a tangent there, She-Wolf. I'm really sorry because I meant to talk about what crazy thing I did in the paranormal. So now I've got two questions, which I will now devote to you. How did I get interested in the paranormal, and what crazy thing I experienced in the paranormal? I think I got interested in the paranormal when I was probably 6 and watching horror movies with my mother on, in the chair watching TV of all the paranormal. Because it was the thing, like I always had trouble going to sleep. I remembered that, but I'm sure my parents only let me stay up late on the weekends, and maybe it was 6 or 7, I would say, up to 8 years of age, because we were living in one particular house. I think everyone should change houses every 3 years, and that way you pinpoint points in your time, because I'm really surprised the things I did when I was so young, because we were in that house, so I had to be that age when I thought of certain things, which is really quite interesting. That, and don't people sort of like brush off children like they don't know anything? They're kids. You'd be surprised if you can think back some of the things you thought when you were 6 years old. It's actually quite advanced of what we would think of a 6-year-old would think about. But that's probably how I got interested in the paranormal, was seeing horror movies, ghost stories on TV, and realizing there was things going on, and also being scared. That was a thing, because why would you get scared? And actually just brought back something, because I knew I used to get, I don't know what the story, well, my parents probably weren't rich, that's the story. All the houses we lived growing up had outside toilets, which never will I live in a house with an outside toilet. Touch wood. I don't want to tempt fate. But I do remember in the other house, because I was then 9 and older, of watching a horror movie and having to go to the toilet outside. And that, and mind you, I must say, in the second house, the toilet wasn't as far away from the back door. It was just around the corner, so that was good. And I had to think of things like, oh, I have to think nice thoughts now. There's no monsters. I had to think nice thoughts. And one of the thoughts I used to think was, if you've all seen The Wizard of Oz, and you see, is it Gilda? It was Gilda, but I can't think of which witch she was, whether she was the witch of the West, the East. I think it was the Wicked Witch of the East that got crushed by the house. But Gilda, the good witch of the North, I had to think of her coming down, and then I'd be able to go run out to the toilet and come back in the house. In the first house, it was a lot further away, and I don't have that much memories of going to the toilet that much outside. But I remember we had to switch because the laundry was next to the toilet. We had to switch the laundry light on from the house so it lit the way, and I'd run to the toilet, go to and run back into the house. Um, so obviously I began to realize of ghosts and things and that's how it's actually started. Just growing from then of paranormal stories, and also um, stories you would hear from other people. Like I said this last week, like just to quickly brief it down, my mother had um, a servant, other people might say a housekeeper, who was able to see things. Like one day they were in the front lawn, and there was a lady walking down the footpath or the sidewalk. And she said, "Oh my goodness, those children are going to make that woman fall over." And my mum and her siblings looked up, and that woman was by herself, no children around. And all of a sudden, she fell over. And it was obviously that she could see things. And she obviously saw like these ghost children um, making her fall over. And it was stories like that over the years that got my interest in the paranormal. Oh, here we go. Doctor Who is telling us something. His first thing is, I was dealing with a haunted ventriloquist dummy at age 6. Is this Doctor? Is this the Doctor or your other persona? That um, was this, so I'm now getting the vibes that it was the, your other persona, uh, and you had a puppet that would talk to you. I'll get back to you in a minute. Um, Deborah, Doctor Who also says Gilda was the evil mastermind and used Dorothy to be an assassin, so Gilda wouldn't be blamed for it. Oh, you put such a horrible twist on it. Is this associated with Wicked? It's been a while since I've seen Wicked, so I can't remember it. But apparently, the book of Wicked goes a lot deeper and is quite political. I like Gilda, so that's all I'm going to say on that. And Kelly says, Doctor, that reminds me of the creepy film called Magic. Anthony Hopkins was truly frightening in that. Did he have a ventriloquist doll in Magic? I'll have to remember that and watch it, because there are some fantastic films on ventriloquist dolls and how they come to life. And this is another thing which, getting back to She-Wolf's question about all of that, I'd watch all these movies. And actually, yeah, in the other house, late at night, my parents would have gone to bed and I'd be watching by myself the horror movies because they wouldn't want to stay up with me. And I wanted to watch it, so I'd watch it. And I think one of them was, as I said, there's quite a few movies on ventriloquist dolls taking over. And I think I remember one of that. Remember that. And that's how basically how it started over the years. And so I've just and then I've sort of like fallen back into this whole thing. Some of you, I don't think any of you have heard the whole story. It's on the website, thebricabratshop.com. If you look under one of the menu items, and I write how I actually started with the Bric-a-Brac shop, because I actually want to get into film and direct film and make film. Really from performing, and that's a whole different story as well. But I was into making, so performing wasn't happening for me in London at the time. So I also wanted to do directing. And I'm thinking, well, I'm getting to the stage where I should be doing directing now anyway. And so I started learning and studying about directing. And I joined the Rain Dance film group. I don't know if you've heard about them. They have a film festival every year, and they've now got branches around the world. There's one in LA. Not sure they've got one in Toronto. Not sure they've got one in New York. Um, but I did a lot of training with them. Also, I did a lot of, you could say, an unofficial apprenticeship on some films as well. So I have a basically idea of films. It's just getting a good script and funding to actually make them. And so I joined Rain Dance, who was going to help me get off the ground. And so I had to make this. I wanted to make a short film, and I didn't know what because I didn't have any. So it became more of a script writing course for me personally because I had to learn how to write. And I wrote. The idea was to make the Bric-a-Brac shop as mini series on YouTube, and every week there'd be a story like the Twilight Zone or One Step Beyond. That's a great series. If you ever get to watch it, watch it. And they're all available on YouTube. And of course, Tales from the Crypt, the 1980s version. They were so good, and they were such an inspiration for me for my first episode of the Bric-a-Brac shop. And I actually wrote it and made it. And good luck to you. Thank you, She-Wolf. She-Wolf said, I hope that doesn't mean you're leaving us just yet. Uh, but thanks, She-Wolf. So I made my short film. It was the pilot episode for the Bric-a-Brac shop, the YouTube TV series. However, I wasn't able to raise funding for it, so it never went anywhere. And Doctor Who says, I love Tales from the Crypt. So do I. It's really, really, really inspirational and got me going. It's so cleverly done. And so many good actors and directors in it as well, if you look at the names there. And so I got the first episode done. And you can watch it. It's on the website. I think it's on the website. Have a look. Let me know if it's not. The trailer is on the website. And I really enjoyed making that trailer for it. And I made it as because the episode couldn't get any couldn't raise any funding for the episode. I mean for the Bric-a-Brac shop YouTube series. I then used it as a short film and called it Perfect Picture. And it's a standalone short film, and it's actually won a few awards as well. So I'm really proud of it. It's not the best because I had limited funds on what I could do. And if you look at the website, it tells you some of the things we cut corners with and achieved without the big proper equipment, like our dolly shot. We dolly out of our main character, leaving our main character. Reducing our main character, making our character smaller. And we didn't in professional filmmaking, you actually have a dolly set. You have two rails and you have special wheels and you pull the camera out. So I didn't have that. And so what we used was skateboards, and we did a platform and mounted the camera on top of that, which I called my skateboard cam. And there's a picture of that. It's all on the website as well. Kelly says, oh, sorry, that's the doctor. Where's Kelly gone? I'll get to that. I just watched a One Step Beyond this morning. My ultimate favorite, as those are based on true occurrences. I know, I loved it. I really don't know if it is based on true occurrences. I know it. They say they are, but I've looked them up as well. Like the episodes on the twins that experienced the same thing at the same time and didn't realize, well, they won't spoil it for you. They didn't realize at the time. But I tried to look them up on the internet and Google, and I couldn't find any records of them. So I think maybe they did do some private research, and they are true stories, but not public true stories. Because I was actually going to feature one of them on my Bric-a-Brac shop episodes. Oh, I'm going to watch that, She-Wolf said. Do watch all of One Step Beyond. In fact, It's very similar to Twilight Zone, and as Kelly said, they are one step beyond is true stories, and Twilight Zone was written stories. And apparently, the guy that did One Step Beyond, oh, can't think of his name. I used to know it quite well a few years ago. They were actually friends with Rod Sterling from the Twilight Zone, and actually, One Step Beyond started before the Twilight Zone. So I do recommend, do watch that. Doctor Who says, I have an idea for a story about a guy who breaks into a mausoleum and discovers it's a time machine. I think I know where that's coming from. Yes, do write it down. It could, well, there's already that story, you know the story, in Brompton Cemetery. Watch my episode on Brompton Cemetery because I do talk about that time machine. And it's not me making up. People have said that uh, the builder of this tomb for this person actually made it as a time machine or a teleporter, which is similar. And he could transport from Brompton Cemetery to South London. And that was in the research that I found out. But the time machine has always stayed there. So hasn't really left. So I don't know. And also, apparently, they've lost the key, which I believe if they really want to get in, they could get in. So yeah, do write it, and let's maybe we could work on it. Kelly says, "Sorry you couldn't get funded, Tom. Maybe in the future. Hopefully in the future. But I have other ideas now as well." Kelly says also that was true. The one about the twins. Yes, they said it. What they actually did say it was a true story, but I couldn't find anything more about them on the internet, which was really frustrating. And the doctor says, "Oh, that story is just getting started, and I have seen your video." Yeah, but I think that story was when they put the tomb in, which was like in the 1880s, if I've got my dates right. So they thought it was a time machine way back then, and that's actually quite interesting. They thought it was a time machine back then. Oh, well, I suppose they had H.G. Wells' time. Oh, what is it called? The Time Machine? H.G. Wells' story um, on that. And so maybe it all came from the same source. It was coming up, which gave H.G. Wells the inspiration and gave the people the thing that was a time machine or a teleporter. So that's getting back to She-Wolf. That's how I uh, had an interest in the paranormal, and also about the story on how the Bric-a-Brac shop started. So since I didn't have a YouTube a web series, and I had the website set up, I had the channel, and nothing happening, I decided to do weekly episodes on, or mostly trying to get weekly episodes on oh yeah, uh, trying to get weekly episodes on paranormal stories. So if you actually have a look, I started, and also because the Bric-a-Brac shop was paranormal stories on possessed items like haunted dolls, ventriloquist dolls, um, maybe a special box, charmed box or something, or a clothing or a jacket or a hat that someone might wear and be influenced when they're wearing it. Certain things like that. And that was the whole idea of it. And each week would be a different one. And that's why it was called the Bric-a-Brac shop, because you'll come into the shop, get something without knowing it's enchanted, and take it home, and all these things would happen. And that's why my first episodes was on Annabelle, famous Annabelle doll, which is like all copyrighted by Warner Brothers now, which Ed and Lorraine Warren, well, they're in the Ed and Lorraine Warren Paranormal Museum now, but they looked into that whole situation with Annabelle, the Raggedy Ann doll that was possessed, and they said it wasn't just possessed; it was possessed by a very demonic demon, which makes me think, I don't know. Now, I do play the devil's advocate, and I always question things, because originally they said it was possessed by a spirit, and fair enough. And all the other things does come from Ed and Lorraine Warren. However, they did say that Annabelle did attack the boyfriend. However, I don't know, did the boyfriend do something to the doll that the doll didn't like and attacked him? Who knows? The doctor says they had a TV series years ago about a store that collected haunted items. It was called Friday the 13th, the series. Oh, I didn't know that. I know there was Friday the 13th, the movie, and I think I knew they did a TV series, but I thought that was similar to the movie. Well, it's interesting. I suppose it talks about maybe some of the things in their collection in their museum. But as I saw one of their YouTube videos, Ed Warren, or was it? I think it's his son, maybe. I can't remember. They were saying they can't really talk much about their stuff because everything's under copyright to, I think it's Warner Brothers, to the studio, and so basically everything has got to go through the studio. Kelly has seen it, and she says it was a fantastic series. And Doctor Who agrees. I'm getting tongue-tied. Yes. And the craziest paranormal thing that's happened to me. Oh, excuse me. Go ahead and drink. I would say coincidences. I don't know. I think I can't remember if I've actually did an episode on it. There's various different things that have happened to me that I find really crazy, really strange. And I think it's sort of like a bit like manifesting, really. And that's a bit like paranormal. Sometimes the things that happen are so unexplainable. And I can't remember I did this in the challenge. That's it. I had a manifestation challenge. And I said this. I was thinking, did I say it? Did I make an episode? It was I did an experimental manifestation challenge, which you should have all joined in. It was really quite an experience. It was experimental. And one of the stories I gave was that I used to live in Melbourne as well, in Australia. I lived in this house, which was quite a few blocks from the tram stop. And I was working constantly back then. And I'd finish work at this hotel and I'd come home, catch the last tram. So I'd get off, not, the late tram. So I'd get off the bus stop around 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 12:30, depending which tram I caught. And I'd walk home. And on the corner, there was this huge house. It was a big house, big lawn, cars parked up the front. I think there was at least 2 cars parked on the front lawn. And because it was late, everyone had gone to bed. And so a lot of the lights in the surrounding houses would be off. And I'd walk down and I'd always see the light in the attic would be on. Most of the times the window would be open. It was an up and down window. And it would be open. And I'd look up and it would always, I don't know, there was something pulling me to that room, that attic bedroom. And I think a boy used to live there, because you could just see the poster on the back wall of his bedroom. And you think, oh, is it a racing car? Is it a motorbike or something? Or anyway. And it always just, I don't know, I was just so curious who lived in that attic room. Like the rest of the house is in darkness, but that room would be completely on, no subdued lighting. It was a full on light. And it would always be on late at night. And I just wondered. And then one day I was coming home a bit early, like in the afternoon, like 5 o'clock. And all of a sudden I saw the 4-wheel drive on the lawn, drive out. I thought, oh my god, who's driving the car? I want to see who's driving. I had this curiosity, and I couldn't really see who was driving. And I thought, oh god, I want to know who lives in that room. It was just like, and it's like those things that you hear with haunted house stories and horror stories. You walk past the big house and you wonder what goes on in that top room. And so years went by. I moved away from the house I was in, and actually, I think I moved to Paran, or I moved to South Yarra as well. And oh, when did I move there? Oh, it was. I think at least it was over 18 months, because I think I moved to Kew. Now, if you all know Melbourne, you know what I'm talking about. And then I was looking for another place to live. No, it wasn't that long ago, because it was before I moved to Kew. Um, so I found this flat near St Kilda, and I moved in. There was a couple living there, this guy and this girl. And I moved in. It was a 2 bedroom flat, so they had one bedroom, and I had the other bedroom. And a week of me being there, they actually broke up. So she moved out. So it was just me and the other guy. And so I was one evening, we were at the kitchen table, or sort of like, I think it was part of the lounge room. The kitchen table was in the lounge room. Um, and we were having a glass of wine, or having a drink anyway. And and we were just chatting, and I said, "Oh yeah, how long have you been here? Where have you lived?" And I used to live in Glen Iris, and he said, "Oh, I used to live there as well. In fact, I used to live at my aunt's place in Glen Iris. It was a big house." I went, "Oh yeah, whereabouts in Glen Iris?" And he said it was on the corner of such and such a street. And I said, "In that big house on the corner, that was your house?" I said, "Yeah." And I had the top bedroom in the attic. And I could not believe it. I actually moved in with this guy who lived in that room of that house. And that was beyond me. How did I attract that? I wanted to know who lived in that room, and I actually moved in with the guy that lived in that room. And that's the crazy things about this whole thing. Doctor Who says, "Oh my God, I know. I can't believe it." And there's other strange things that have happened as well. Kelly says, "Sadly for us, the manifestation challenge was only on Facebook." What a cool story about your flatmate. Wow. I'm sorry, Kelly. It's the only way I knew how to set up the challenge. But yeah, I couldn't believe it. That I was actually able to manifest something like that. Um, but at the moment, I really have to hone in on my manifestations, because does anyone remember? Oh, the Americans, you will remember Bewitched. Bewitched with Elizabeth Montgomery. I don't know if Kelly. I don't know if they got Bewitched in the UK. Wow, that's cool. Thanks for sharing. She will has said. Yes, I know. It's one of my manifestations that I hold dear to me, and I keep repeating as well. I just need more of those to start happening. In fact, I think they're beginning to happen as well. Um, oh, what was I saying? Bewitched. Thank you. Kelly has watched Bewitched, and you remember Aunt Agatha, lovely Aunt Agatha. She does her witchcraft, her magic, and it just doesn't work right. Like, she'll want a bottle of wine, and she might get a box of dried fruit instead, something like that. And I feel I'm a bit like Aunt Agatha, and I just can't pinpoint the things I want. Now I've got to be careful. I've just said that I don't manifest that as well, because it's a bit crazy. Because I suppose it goes along the lines of putting it out there and getting it. Like, I'm a very big fan of Abraham Hicks and their teachings on the world and manifesting. And I did this manifestation, another sort of manifestation challenge earlier in the year. And I was told to think of these things like, uh, what do you want? And I kept saying, oh, I want to earn £1,000 a week. And I've done that before. So it's not impossible. And I'm sure in London, there are lots of people earning that for the way some people live in London, I can tell you. And also, I also was thinking, oh, and the challenge said, you should aim for something big, like £100,000 a month from multiple sources. And this is the thing, and it is possible. I've seen people, they can earn over £100,000 a month. And also, there was another point where I needed money to get me through this particular situation. Now, I kept putting out there, I did manifestation challenges. Oh, the doctor is calling. Calling Dr. Bombay. Call. Hear me out. Hear me out. Look, witchcraft, black magic, white magic, manifestation, ghosts. If you ask me, I think they're all the same thing. They're all scientific. Quantum physics hasn't explained it yet. And that's what I believe. Now, getting back to what I was saying, I wanted to earn £1,000 a week. I wanted to receive £100,000 a month, and I needed money to get me by. And now this is very interesting, and this is how I talk about Aunt Agatha, how she manifests things and they're wrong because she's obviously getting older and her energies aren't right. When I started doing that, I saw a job going and a few jobs, the same type of job, so they would have offered the same pay. But one of them actually said paying, it was about £1,200 a week. And I think by the time you take commission off and things like that, it would have been around £1,000 a week. Of course, I applied for it. I didn't get it. But I saw the job and it was out there. And then surprisingly, now this is the one that you're thinking about, Doctor, the £100,000 a month. And yeah, it is a bit of a tall asking. But then I was walking past. We have, I don't know if you've got this in the States. I think you would have, because I think they're quite common everywhere. Scratch lottery tickets. And I've never seen these before, not for this sum. And then, I kid you not, it said, these scratch lottery tickets, you could win £100,000 a month. And I'm thinking, I know, I did buy a scratch lottery ticket. I did buy the lottery ticket, but I didn't win anything. But it was so close. And the third one was when I wanted this lump sum of money to get me through. A job came up that was again paying £1,000 a week. And oh wait there, let me get this right. What was it? Because I've had a few of those which I didn't get. I think this was a lump sum job, and it would have lasted for about 6 weeks, and it would have come to about £5,000. And again, I applied for it, but I didn't get it. So I put it out there, and the universe has showed it to me, but I haven't been able to clench the final deal of it. So I just feel I've just got to hone in and zone in on my manifestation. She-Wolf says, I think the manifestation idea works. It does. I've conjured up my flatmate that I wanted to know who lived in the room. And there's other things I've conjured up, but I've got to hone in onto it and see what I'm doing right for it. Abraham, we're referring to Abraham Hicks here, says to say this: I want money to flow to me in abundance so that I can comfortably enjoy. Okay, I've got to remember that one. I want money to flow to me in abundance so I can comfortably enjoy. Oh, yeah, it makes sense the second time. I hope everyone else take note and say it as an affirmation. And let's see. Don't you have to be specific with the amount of abundance? Again, for those in Facebook land, I want money to flow to me in abundance so that I can comfortably enjoy. So there we go. Thank you for that, Kelly. There's another one that I like to use as well. And I've heard it from a few different places, so I think it's out there now, so people are using it. Is large sums of money is I am, or something like, I am open to receive large sums of money easily and effortlessly, that sort of thing. So it's a large sum of money. It's not £100, £1,000. It's a very large amount of money, and it's coming to you easily, so you don't have to rob the bank for it, so to say. And the doctor says, and I think the doctor's a bit skeptical on all this. Scratch tickets are so common here. They are dispensed by a machine. Oh, that's interesting. And I can believe that too as well. And Kelly says, no. No to what? To the scratch lottery machines, or what I said about abundance? Sorry. Yeah, but apparently I did read an article that did say the scratch lottery tickets are made so you do win a little bit, like another scratch lottery ticket, or maybe £5 or something like that. But it's very hard actually to win the jackpot. That's what they say. Let's see if we can prove them wrong. Why don't we all go out tomorrow, buy a scratch lottery ticket, and let the universe reward us? How about that? And this is from our Brac live, and you can all thank me afterwards. No, Kelly says no to stating the exact amount. Why not? Otherwise, you might want £100,000 and you only get £10,000. But mind you, I have heard different stories about that. I heard you should say something like maybe a specific amount and more, like £100,000 and more. So if you can't get that £100,000, you'll get more than what you asked for. Kelly has said, hence the abundance reference. Oh, sorry, the exact amount. I'm just so lost here. But this has been really interactive and really good, and I've really enjoyed this. Okay, so I think that was my craziest, one of my craziest events for this whole paranormal thing. Actually, another thing I will say, which is really bizarre and really crazy, is the tarot cards. I bought my first tarot cards probably about a year now, and I just talk to them. I know I'm off with the fairies now. I do talk to them, but in the way that tell me how will my day, like early in the day I'll say how will my day go, and I'm quite lazy, so I don't do the spread or I don't do anything. I just say I intended to learn all that and learn the different cards, like maybe the 3 card spread, past, present, future, and all that sort of stuff. But I'm very lazy, so I just say and sometimes I suppose they know what I'm thinking, and a card will drop out. I say, oh, it's too soon. And so I put the card back in. Of course, I noted what card it was. And so I put it back in. And then I'll go through cards, spirits, whatever. Tell me what should I do, or how will my day go, or something like that for the rest of the day. And you would be surprised the times. It's not that often, but occasionally the same card will drop out again. Now, this isn't your ordinary deck of 52 playing cards. This is a deck of 78 different cards, and you'll be shuffling, and that exact card will drop out again. In fact, there was once where that same card dropped out 3 times while I was shuffling. And how do you explain that? And other tarot card readers have said that um, if you're if you ask the cards something and they'll come out with a few different cards and they'll tell you something and you say, oh, this is probably rubbish, let's do it again. So you do it again, it will say the same thing. It might not be the same cards, but similar cards meaning the same things will come out again. And that is so uncanny or crazy. And that's what I find really crazy about all of this paranormal stuff. And I think, as I've said, the scientific side, quantum physics, will explain it in the future. Doctor Who wants a Ouija board carpet mat so the Roomba can summon a demon. Roomba? What's a Roomba? Sorry. Why do you want to summon a demon for? You can summon a spirit. You can summon anything. It's people like you that people say you shouldn't use a Ouija board because they say you can summon demons and they create a lot of problems. But apparently Ouija boards got condemned from, apparently I think it was The Exorcist that came out, or there was another film, I think it was The Exorcist, that came out and scared everybody and pushed the Ouija boards down so no one touches Ouija boards. She Wolf says, well, if it keeps coming up, then I hope it was a good card. All the cards are good. You've just got to interpret them because they're telling you something on what you have to take precautions. That's how I read it as well. And yes, and I believe the card was a good card, actually. It was. And those cards that came out were quite good and quite what's the word? Motivational. Showed me the way in where I had to go, so to speak. Robot vacuum. Oh, do you think the robot vacuum would know how to do it? You could try it, but I wouldn't want to summon up a demon. Summon up a spirit or something else. You don't want to attract bad luck. I can tell you, you don't want that. And that's an interesting idea, but you do need a lot of space. I think just get an ordinary Ouija board. Oh, lovely meeting you, She-Wolf. I hope that you join us all again soon. We won't let Doctor Who summon any demons here. And Doctor Who says anything is possible. Well then summon a spirit. Let's see, because anything is possible. And I do believe, I don't know, I've spoken, well, I haven't personally spoken, but I've seen interviews with people that people do seem to be able to get the Ouija board to work. And it's really a bit strange how they do work. And this is for you, the doctor, the scientific doctor. Scientists have said that they work because it's the person's subconscious actually moving the planchette. I think that's what it is, planchette, around the board. And it's no spirits, it's just the subconscious doing it, which is quite interesting. I must say, I don't think there's enough scientific experiments done on the Ouija board. However, there is a YouTube video out there, which is quite interesting how they did do this test. And there was like 3 people around the Ouija board, and they all had their finger on it as usual. And they were talking. Oh, that's right. One of the girls summoned her grandfather, who had passed on, and she was quite comforted that he was there and helping her. And so they obviously believed in the Ouija board. And so the compare of this video said, all right, now we're going to take it a little bit further. We're going to blindfold you all, and we're going to do it again. And they did it. And the planchette just didn't know where to go. It just went all over the place. So obviously the grandfather couldn't see where he was going, so to speak. And And it shows that it might be their subconscious wanting to know things that subconsciously push that planchette around the board to make up different words. And Doctor Who says Yana Professor Hawking is in Westminster Abbey. Let's summon him. If you want to. I wouldn't want to. I mean, personally, I don't know him. And for him, we're strangers to him. And I don't know, I just feel it might be a bit. I suppose you could, to be honest. As long as everything's done respectfully and above board, yeah, I suppose you could. You could virtually summon anybody, really, through time if we were thinking like that. And I suppose some people may be able to do that. I'll leave that up in the air with you. She Wolf says she's glad she came to listen and she's enjoyed this a lot. I'm glad you'd have too. I hope you join us again. In fact, oh my goodness, let's have a look. This is one of the longest lives I've done. Thank you. Um, I don't know if anyone watching replay will stay with us for this long to watch it all. We've covered quite a bit, which is really nice. But I've had to start spreading my time around to get some extra revenue in because let's say I haven't hit my targets with the bric-a-brac shop. So I've had to do some day work. Let's have a look at what the doctor said. Doctor says, imagine the insight he would have on the workings of the universe. Now he's on the other side. You just want to pick his brain now. He's on the other side and find out the real concept of the universe. It's a very good idea, actually. And I tend to think that I think some people have tried it before, but because they're through a medium and from the other side, people don't actually believe them. Indeed, the doctor says. Yes. So, but I think that's how some inventions have come to pass as well, because people have channeled, maybe not through a seance or through a Ouija board, but they have channeled other people and have been told of how to create certain things. And that's why we've got certain things. And I think they've kept that secret because people will say they're stupid or crazy and should be in the madhouse. And so they said, well, I just invented it, instead of saying they had help from the hereafter. Kelly says, we need to all spread the word about Tom's channel so it continues to grow. Yes, please do. Tell your friends and get people to subscribe to it on the YouTube channel. Join the Facebook if you can. I know some people are boycotting it. Instagram as well. That's the next thing. Yes, and please get it going. I'm intending to make to have a members site, but I can tell you what, I was so worn out after that challenge. I've been zonked. So and I tell you what, this whole week, since I usually tell you what I've been doing all week, I have just been studying. I've got a few jobs coming up actually, which I'm working on, and they want you to know this, they want you to know that, and they've given you these courses to do, and I've just been studying. Oh, thank you, Doctor. She Wolf is a friend of the Doctor. You make it sound like she's your assistant, and you'll travel around in the TARDIS together. Thank you very much for that, Doctor. Yeah, so that's what I've been doing. I've just been studying and studying and studying, and I've got this other stuff to study. Actually, I should do it some more because I have a meeting not next week, but the week after. Well, actually, a 5-day training with them, which I had to I can get away with 3, so I'm doing that because I'll be doing my other jobs. Because we've got school holidays in London, not next week, but the week after. And so I'll be working full time. So that's going to stretch me out a lot. Yeah, so she will do look at the YouTube channel, look at the episodes. Oh, that's right. I was going to talk about the haunted objects because I did an episode on Annabelle and Robert the doll. There is something about Robert the doll. I don't know what it is, but I have a strange attraction to him. And that was one of the things I was thinking last year, where after lockdown, when it's thing all gets going, I would really love to go to where is it? It's not the West Coast. It's not the West End. It's Key West. Key West, because that's where Robert is, and actually visit him and get his permission to take photos because he's very touchy about having photographs taken. Kelly has said, She Wolf, Tom's written a book on manifestation. It's been very helpful. Oh, good, thank you. A quick read, but one that you can go back to for inspiration. Oh, thank you, Kelly. Thank you for that review. I hate mates. Oh, I had mates go to Key West. Really, Kelly? And what happened? Did they do tell us more? Oh, Kelly, can I interview you on the YouTube channel because that would be a good follow up from Robert the Doll episode. But yeah, I do hope nothing bad happened to them. In fact, I actually would think you go and see Robert and he just sits there. You see him, and that's it. So that's probably what I think. But other people, apparently, people that have taken photographs of him without his permission have ended up with quite a lot of bad luck. And they've all written in asking for forgiveness for taking his photograph. She Wolf says, Yeah, the Doctor Who brought me in here, and I'm glad he did. I'm glad you're here too. Thank you for coming. And She Wolf says, Thank you, Kelly, as well. Kelly says they brought the book about Robert to her, and you were horrified after you read it. I had to do a lot of research on Robert. He's not the most frightening of dolls, I can tell you. That's why I don't know. I have this attraction. I feel maybe he's been a bit misunderstood. I hope he's happy in the museum in Key West there. But to be honest, with all these possessed dolls, are they really possessed, or is it the museums that say they're possessed to get people to come in and look at them? You never really know. And Doctor Who says, some of the ghost hunters I follow have episodes on Robert, Umagotstov, and Mosaji. And apart from Robert, I'm sorry, I don't know the others. One of them isn't the Australian doll, is it? Yeah, and sometimes these haunted dolls, they could be haunted, but a lot of them, and as they should be, are really quite harmless. Like some people say they just move around the room and stuff. Kelly says, oh, that's right. You read all the apologies to him. This is from people that have taken pictures of him without his permission, and they've had bad luck. And so they've written in and apologizing for taking pictures of him. People truly had bad things happen after they saw him. But that's the thing. He wasn't always like that. You know, for like the 80 years that he was with Eugene, his owner, nothing really horrible really happened. It feels like someone's really upset him and he's become like this. And I don't doubt it. But there are other dolls that I've said that are worse because there's this book that I actually bought to do research on these possessed items, and there are other dolls that are actually quite, I I don't know if evil is the right word, but um, scary. Like what they could do, the ill fortune that could probably fall onto someone. Like there is one doll apparently that they say you shouldn't even look at the photograph, and there's a photograph of it in the book. And I was just thinking about my run of bad luck, but that was before I got the book. um, and I'm thinking that uh, in a way you've got to protect yourself before you look at the photograph, saying, I intend no harm to you. I'm just having a look at you, and I go in peace and that sort of thing. And I think I did that when I saw this photograph of his other doll as well, which apparently they say could come through in the photograph. Doctor Who says field trip. Let's all go see Robert. Very interesting you say that, because if I could get the channel off the ground, if when COVID is over, I was thinking of having little maybe ghost tours and some to different places or something, because other people have had similar tours, like maybe wine tasting. um, and some people from around the world will go somewhere and they all go off together to a particular vineyard to taste wine. And I was thinking maybe I could do something like that, like we'll all make our way to Florida and then make our way down to Key West. Kelly says it's a fantastic story. Here in the UK, there's a haunted painting. The man that painted it mixed his blood into the paint, put it onto the canvas, and then committed suicide. What's the painting? Because that story sounds familiar, and I think I read about that, but I can't remember anymore. What does the painting do to people who look at it, or who owns the painting? In fact, Doctor Who asked where Kelly is. As far as I know, Kelly is in London in the UK. Maybe she's not. Maybe she's in the surrounding side. Screaming Man painting. That's the painting. Yeah. I think I might have seen a video on that as well. I'm not really quite sure. Not to be confused with the Scream, which is another painting of the guy doing that. Actually, I've seen that one. That came on a tour to the British Museum, an exhibition there called The Scream. And it's not actually him screaming, it's, oh, I can't remember, what was it? It's more like the environment is screaming that you're destroying it, and he's covering his years from it. That's the interpretation, if I read correctly. Kelly has also said, Doctor Who, I'm in the Docklands, East London. And the doctor says, nice. Ever go to Brompton? Or do you mean Brompton Cemetery? Um, it's quite sterile is not the right word, but it's very. I don't pick up on any energies in Brompton Cemetery, and I think maybe there might be some corners, because it's a huge cemetery, and maybe I might do another video on that. It's a huge cemetery, and people do filming, as in films will be filmed in there, and I think that's why there are some parts that are really immaculate, and there are some parts that are overgrown with shrubbery and stuff like that to make it look like an old cemetery, maybe a haunted cemetery. And I think they do that on purpose, so when people want to film something there, they know which spot to go to get their shot. Yeah, but I just feel, and I said that in the Brompton episode I did, that I feel I don't really feel that much energy there, in the sense that I think it's been cleansed. And that's because you've got people walking right through the cemetery. For those of you who don't know Brompton, it's a huge cemetery, and they've made like there's a path that you can go through. In fact, joggers run up and down, and it's a quick way people can get there and to the tube station, the underground tube station. People will cut through the cemetery there during the daytime, and I think because there is so much traffic going through the cemetery, uh, the energies have emerged and moved around, and it's cleansed it. So any energies that are there have evolved and changed, so to speak. Kelly says, I want to visit the Ripper victim's grave, Mary, and I believe the others as well. Um, yeah, go for it. Sorry. I thought about that and I thought, well, I don't really know them, and I don't really have a calling to see their graves. But yeah, I think they are around, and you can find out where they are. But they're not in the one place. They're actually buried in various different places in different graveyards or cemeteries. So that would be like quite a field trip for the whole day. Kelly has said, oh, Mary Kelly's grave is in Leytonstone, I think. Quite possibly. There are a few. Leytonstone is quite close to East London, for those of you who don't know London. So it makes sense that she would be in that area as well. That sounds like fun. The doctor says, yeah. That's actually quite interesting that to visit their graves, and if you have an inclination for them. I like to go to their murder spots with a spirit box. That's a thought. I think a few people have done that. I think there is YouTube videos on that. But Kelly says she's called to her for some reason. Is that just Mary Kelly or all of the victims? Um, Yeah, it's interesting why you would be, or there is a connection there. Um, I have a very strange connection with Marie Antoinette. She just mystifies me, and I just want to know more and more and more about her. And she's really she's just so, I don't know. And and I tell you what, I went to see her grave in Paris at Saint Denis. Saint Denis? Saint Denis? Saint Denis? Saint Denis? I don't know the right pronunciation. Where she's buried. And when I went there and I saw the graves and Louis XVI, it was really strange. I felt a closure that the whole story of her was actually gone full circle, and I could put it to rest. And it was just a really strange feeling I had, that this yearning and this mystery. I don't know, but I just felt at peace once I'd visited her grave. Maybe it's a past life thing. I don't know, and maybe there's something there with Mary Kelly. For you, Kelly. Um, and I think sometimes what we normally would think, oh, it's a past life thing. Maybe you were friends with her in the past. Maybe you're a relative, or maybe you just read about it in the papers and at the time, and it fascinated you, and it lodged something that in this lifetime you'd still like to find out some more. So it might be a good idea to visit Mary Kelly's grave and see how you feel afterwards. Yeah, and Kelly has also said, fantastic book called The Five. No murder talk, just a book about their lives. Truly sad. I couldn't put it down. Oh, that's really interesting. I think I've heard about that book. To be honest, I'm not so much into Jack the Ripper. It doesn't draw me in so much, and I think maybe it's more serial killer's murder more than paranormal. But and also it's not that far gone, but it's gone far enough that we really can't find. I personally think we can't find any more on it, and it just becomes a frustrating story on who the murderer was. Um, yeah, but yeah, I know lots of people that are fascinated with Jack the Ripper, and actually, there's a Jack the Ripper museum now. I don't know who I was talking to about it, but they said it wasn't a really good Jack the Ripper museum. I can't remember why, but um, yeah, but it's opened up in the last few years, and yeah, it might be an idea to pop into the museum and have a look around. The doctor says that Johnny Depp did a Ripper film called From Hell. That was pretty good. I remember I saw that. It goes on the story that it was Jack the Ripper was actually a member of. Correct me if I'm wrong, Doctor. That the Jack the Ripper was a member of the royal family, or a surgeon to the royal family, or something like that. And he would go and uh, kill these victims, and apparently, according to the film, he got his just desserts without any spoilers. If you haven't seen it, oh, good, thank you. I was right. The doctor says yes. So, yeah, someone, a member of the royal family, and Kelly says, "I was told not to go to the museum. Heard it was fake rubbish." Well, there you go. There's another one that says not to bother, but I think it's made an impact. I think quite a lot of people know about it already. So we'll see. Hopefully, they will improve and become better. And I must say, it's not actually quite close to the murder sites. It's um, it's walking distance, but it's further south of where all the murders happened. So yeah, I heard that too. Maybe we have to go and have a look just to see whether it is fake or not. Um, and a spirit box near the site. You know what? Have you had any experiences with a spirit box? All the ones I've seen on YouTube. Now, I am a believer in stuff. I am open to suggestions, but to me, I just think they're static, and people are saying the noise are just anything. To be honest, I can't make out what they're saying. I've got to read the subtitles on the videos to say, oh, there's a spirit here, and they want to communicate and do this and that. And I'm thinking, I never heard that in the static, and I don't know how they heard it. But I don't. I'm not convinced about spirit boxes until they can improve them so we can understand them. Uh, then I'll believe it. And how do we know? What if they don't speak English? If they're speaking French or German, um, are we going to understand them anyway? Yeah, I'm just not sold with the spirit boxes. As for the other spirit detecting equipment, my episodes on vibrations have convinced me more that they probably could travel on different wavelengths, which is why 18.9 hertz is like the spirit vibration, apparently, because people feel scared and eerie, and there's things happening around them when they're exposed to that sort of vibration. So they say the vibration is making them feel that way, but is it the vibration, or has the vibration created a surrounding environment where these entities can now come through on those vibrations? The doctor has said, true story, I was using my smartphone as a hearing aid at my brother-in-law's funeral. I asked a question and heard him say yes through the smartphone. Oh, so using your phone like an amplifier. Are you sure he said yes? I'm not doubting you. I'm just quizzing you. And it wasn't static or anything else that seemed like a yes. But on saying that, I do believe certain signs do happen. If you ask a question and something happens, but coincidentally, sometimes I do think they have an influence. Some maybe, but I won't say no to that at all. Yes. Okay. And you should have asked him more things and got more responses from him. That's what I think. She Wolf has said, "Have you ever felt the energy of a person you've known who has passed away?" I hesitate because I'm there's one incident that comes back to my mind straight away. It was a friend I liked very much, and he did pass away. I went to the funeral. Actually, I was in a different city at the time. I flew into the city and I didn't have any money. So I flew in and had to take the coach out. And I was only there for the day, didn't stay at all. Caught up with my mum in the evening. But I flew in, went to the service, went to the funeral, and they had a wake where he used to live. And I used to go there as well. And it was a big party because his flatmate was a chef. So she put on this huge gourmet buffet. And it was like a party. That's how wakes are supposed to be. And it was the most strangest feeling I've ever felt. You'd walk around the place, and it was he had so many friends that were there for the wake, and it, I kid you not, it was such a strange feeling. I felt like he was there, and he was going to pop her out. Sorry, he was going to pop out round the corner and say, "Surprise! I'm not dead." It was a joke. And of course, it would have been a very expensive joke for that to happen. But that's how it felt. It was so strange. It felt like he was there, and yeah, and he was just going to pop out any minute. And then I caught up with my mum, and then I caught the bus back to Melbourne where I was living at the time. So yes, I did feel an energy, and yeah, I don't know. They're hard to explain, these energies, but you know it when you feel it. Doctor Who says yes. Um, and that was obviously to our other conversation about his uncle replying to him. Oh, sorry, your uh, brother-in-law's funeral. Oh, that reminds me of another one, which I will be doing an episode on uh, around August about things like that. You heard him electronically. What do you mean by that? Sorry. Was an audio yes, or you just felt the answer was yes? Because sometimes you do. You ask, "Oh, this is happening. That's happening. Should I do this?" And all of a sudden, you know the answer. So maybe did you mean like that? Kelly says, "I'm sure that he was there. It was his funeral. I think he probably would be there." Um, do they attend the funeral? The spirits? I don't know, but that's a very good thing, interesting thing. And as for my friend, I would think my friend was definitely at the wake, so he probably would have been at the funeral as well. Um, but this is an interesting thing that someone was telling me. Oh, the doctors replied back with, "The hearing aid let me hear an audible yes." So you actually heard yes, something that sounded like yes. So that's fair enough. I'll go with that. Um, a strange thing. I was speaking to this guy, and he said his partner passed away, and he said that his partner had said that he was an electrician, the partner, and he said that if there was a way to communicate, he will come back and try to make some sort of signs. And he was an electrician. And when his partner passed away, he was saying that things in the house would go crazy, like the lights would flicker, the radio, the TV would turn on and off, and all of these electrical things would happen all the time. And when they buried the partner, that's when all everything in the house subsided again. There was no more strange electrical flashing of lights and TVs and radios turning on and off. And so I do think they do hang around for a while. Kelly says, I've heard that they do go to their funerals before the soul actually moves on. I've heard that as well. I think they do as well. I think that's why we do have the service. Again, it's like closure to put the body in the grave or cremate the body, and that is like saying goodbye of their time on Earth, and then they go off to the other realm. The doctor says, I'm just confused about how you used it as a. Oh, Kelly, sorry. Kelly has asked the doctor, I'm confused about how you used it as a hearing aid. Did you just speak into the phone? Well, I think I'll let the doctor answer that one. I was thinking of it more like an amplifier, actually. So the phone picks up on what's going on and plays it back louder. But I'll let, as I said, I'll let the doctor answer that. He was there at the time. Um, so, oh my goodness, we've been on for 2 hours. This is the longest live. Thank you guys for staying on, and anyone else who watches this in the future, do reply and put hashtag replay, and do let us know if you stayed right to the end as well. The doctor has replied. I spoke normally. I have an app that turned the phone into a microphone, and I listen through my headphones. Oh, that's very good app. Can you say what app it is? Yeah. So it works like an amplifier, I would say. So picks up what's going on and amplifies it, makes it louder in your headphones. So that answers your question, Kelly. Well, that's yeah, and again, it is an electrical instrument, and I do believe spirits can work through electrical works through electrical equipment. Kelly says, right, I'm not the brightest bulb, doctor. I understand now. And doctor says, yes, let me look. Stand by. Not quite sure I got that, but I think I got it. Okay, so thanks for the interaction. It has been really enjoyable. As I said, this whole week I've been studying and started the new episode. Hopefully, I'll be able to get some of it done, and it should come out in the next few days. It's just basically a question, really, but it'd be good to get your feedback on it as well, and it may lead on to other stuff. And that's what's happening. I'm getting busy as the weeks come on. I still have a bit of time this week, so I'll get that going. And stay tuned for when I put up the next live, because I really don't think it's going to be 6 o'clock. Um, oh, okay. Looking for the name of the app. Oh, I'm. Oh yes, makes sense now. Thank you, Kelly. Ah, so we'll stand by and let him find the name of the app. Yes, so I don't know if I'll be able to do a 6 o'clock. Is 10 o'clock too late for you guys? I'm sure it's all right for you guys in the States. Depends if it's too late for Kelly and anyone else joining us. Mind you, we may get some more people joining us. I don't know what the time would be in Australia though. So Kelly likes 10 o'clock. Okay. I just hope I've got the energy after being a whole day at work. I'm not asleep. Neither am I, to be honest. Although, when you work all day and you've got another day's work on the Sunday to do, it's a lot. And not to mention getting everything else done. But I think that should be fine. Also, my flatmates have moved out, so I don't have to be so quiet so late at night. So that might be good. Although 10 o'clock is usually party night, and definitely not while I'm working because I obviously have to work in the morning, so I don't think I'll be going out. But there will be times where I will be going to functions on a Saturday night. Most people have parties on Saturday. Why is that? It's because they've got days free. So I may change it around, but at this stage, I think 10 o'clock might be all right. So we'll, I might put it for 10 o'clock next week and see what happens. It's been a good gathering anyway. I've really enjoyed it. We'll see if the doctor comes back with the name of the app, the amplifying app. And I just know in the next few weeks I am going to get pretty busy with working to um, pay the bills, really. But I've been pretty lucky. I've had the last 18 months. Oh, the doctor says see above. He did. Look up. Uh, oh, there it is. Thank you, guys and girls. Uh, Alex is the app name. Um, it's Petralex, and that's for the people on Facebook land. Petralex. There it is. I can say it now. That is the amplification app. If you can't hear something, um, download the app. Your phone will hear it and put it in your headphones for you. Quite snazzy. Thanks for that. I will remember that. So I think that's about it. Anyone else? No, that's it for the comments. We've been on for 2 hours. Thank you. It's been really quite a good get together. Thank you. Cheers. And my wine's finished. So we might as well go. I'll let you go. It's midnight. It's the witching hour in the UK. It's about 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the West Coast, probably 6 o'clock in the Midwest. And so you've been wanting to go and have dinner. So enjoy your dinner. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. Have a great week, everybody. And I'm really touched that you are all here. I really am. She Wolf says, it's been fun. It's been nice meeting you. You too. You've got a purple heart. Oh, purple heart. That means another thing as well. But just looking at it, it reminded me of what's that superhero in X-Men that is purple and she can shapeshift. I was thinking I've got this picture of you looking like her. That's because of the purple heart. But now that I mentioned purple heart, that brings a totally different imagery to mind because purple heart is a spiritual. I'm thinking of the purple flame, but still it leads on to that. The purple heart, the purple flame, and the purple flame is used in esoteric circles, you could say, in spirituality. It's like, oh, Madame Buffalowski or something. I can't remember her name. They started the philosophical or theosophical movement at the end of the 1800s, beginning of the 20th century, with their moment, and they used to talk about bringing down the purple flame to cleanse the whole world and everything. Doctor Who, mystic. And I've lost my train of thought there. But that's obviously what I was referring to with what talking about the purple flame. Yes, the mystic, the mystical side of things. So I'm going to let you go because I'm beginning to blab on. Here we go. The doctor's in again. Mystique X-Men. Is that her name? Mystique. Mystic, of course. I must be getting tired. Thank you, Doctor. Mystic, that's her name. In X-Men, yes, exactly. That's what that symbol, which I couldn't really see so much in the comment, but when I put it on the big screen, I could see it was more like a purple heart. Yes, well, that's what it reminds me of, Mystic from X-Men. Thanks very much. So, on that note, I'm going to let you all go. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. Believe me, I've had a really wonderful night. And I'll see you next week. And probably 10 o'clock unless something else comes up. So, have a good week and stay well and happy. Here we go. I'll just launch it off. There goes the midnight ambulance. Okay, so have a good week. I'll see you then. Bye.